Elk River has rejected an ordinance to allow for a data center as the debate surrounding them throughout Minnesota continues. Maria Lizignoli joins us now after a packed meeting last night. Maria.
Yes, that's right. The Elk River City Council voted unanimously against the ordinance amendment that would have allowed for the project. Residents in Elk River have repeatedly raised questions over noise, water usage, and transparency. But after it was voted down, the mayor says it effectively shuts down the proposed data center. The city council is now taking steps toward a moratorium, which would put data center construction on pause. For the owner of Eyre Brewing, this was a sigh of relief. He was worried the proposed data center next to his business would drive away customers.
We can move forward as a business now. We had put a lot of things kind of on pause till we had heard what the direction they were going to go with on this. So now that they've done that, we can start doing more things at the tap room, knowing that we have some time still in that location.
And several other Minnesota cities have implemented a pause on data center development, including Eagan. The city of Eagan passed a one-year moratorium back in February. But WCCO learned last night Eagan faces a lawsuit filed by a data center company who called the moratorium ill-advised and unlawful. A spokesperson for the city said, in part, the city is confident in its position and intends to vigorously defend its moratorium through the legal process. Inver Grove Heights also put a moratorium on data centers in place this year and also faces the threat of litigation.
Okay, story we will continue to follow. The conversation not over yet. Thanks, Maria.
Right now, the time's coming up on 6:05. Investigators now say bullets hit 4 people when gunfire erupted early Monday morning in North Minneapolis. This happened on Water Street, just north of Broadway Avenue Bridge, the bridge there. A 17-year-old boy, 3 men, all hurt, but they will survive. Police think all 4 were leaving a building when the shooting happened. Officers have not arrested anyone. Minneapolis police are investigating at least 4 other shootings over the weekend and in north and northeast neighborhoods as well. A total of 5 people were shot. 1 man died and another is seriously hurt. The rest, including a 17-year-old boy, are expected to survive. At last check, no arrests. Now, the city's interim police chief said investigators are working diligently to identify everyone responsible and ensure they are held accountable. He also noted that increased enforcement and proactive partnership help prevent additional harm, including the recovery of several illegal firearms over the weekend.
This morning, police are still searching for who shot and killed a teenager in Brooklyn Park. Officers used canines to search Hartcop Park yesterday. They say someone shot and killed the 16-year-old boy just before 11 Sunday night. A neighbor says he saw a group of about 10 people lighting off fireworks.
I didn't really pay attention to it. I mean, 4th of July weekend is usually busier and more people later in the park than normal, so I didn't really pay attention.
Police say they tried to save the boy's life when they got there, but he died from his injuries. They have not arrested anyone.
President Trump arrives in Turkey this morning for a NATO summit.
CBS News' Bradley Blackburn tells us ahead of the meeting, the president suggested an end to the Russia-Ukraine war could be close.
After climbing the steps to the new Air Force One, President Trump headed to Turkey overnight for a NATO summit, where a major focus will be Russia's war with Ukraine. Deadly missile and drone attacks on Kyiv Monday showed the years-long war remains hot. But in the Oval Office before his departure, President Trump predicted a possible peace after speaking with Russia's President Vladimir Putin over the weekend.
I think we're getting much closer than people realize, and President Putin wants it to end. I will tell you that very strongly. A good call. And President Zelensky actually wants it to end now. And we're going to be going to NATO, and we're going to be talking about it, and I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it ended.
The president is set to meet with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky while in Turkey, where he also plans to push European leaders to hold to their commitment to boost defense spending to 5% of their respective GDPs. Ahead of the summit in June, NATO Secretary General visited the White House and spoke about how allies are already spending more.
Our stockpiles have to be replenished.
He said despite President Trump's vocal frustration, he remains committed to the alliance.
He is completely committed to the NATO alliance, but he is also absolutely clear, as always. This is the great strength of this president. So he was always clear, I'm committed to the NATO alliance. But I expect allies to spend more, to equalize with the United States.
The summit is set to kick off at a dinner Tuesday with a full working session of world leaders Wednesday. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The president has also expressed frustration with NATO allies over their criticism of the war with Iran. The Pentagon recently ordered review of the U.S. military presence in Europe, taking allies by surprise.